They are nature's ultimate armored titans. For millions of years, they've ruled the waters, smashing buffalo, crushing bones, and claiming human lives. But some giants scale to a whole new level of terror. Monstrous beasts as long as a city bus. Some are locked behind bars. Others? They are still out there, lurking in the wild. Here are the 10 largest crocodiles that really exist. Our journey begins with a true legend known as Jaws III. This name immediately conjures images of sheer aquatic terror, mirroring his famous Hollywood namesake. And indeed, the life story of this mammoth crocodile residing at the Madras Crocodile Bank in India is as dramatic as any cinematic blockbuster. Jaws III has proven the incredible resilience of his species, surviving a brutal territorial battle that cost him a significant portion of his tail. But that didn't stop him from growing into a staggering length of over 16 feet. Highly territorial by nature, Jaws III was never one to share his space peacefully. When zoo staff introduced several female crocodiles into his enclosure to encourage breeding, the Titan's reaction was anything but welcoming. In one notable incident, he launched an attack so violent that keepers had to intervene in a desperate, chaotic rescue to prevent a fatal outcome. Yet, this ancient predator possesses a surprisingly intelligent side. Despite his fierce aggression toward his own kind, he developed an uncanny bond with his human caretakers. He memorized his feeding schedule so perfectly that he would appear at the bank at the exact same time every day, eagerly anticipating his meal. Even more fascinating is his ability to recognize specific human voices. The moment he hears a familiar voice near his enclosure, he immediately swims toward it, displaying a unique preference for human company over his fellow reptiles. Next, we venture into the lush confines of reptile gardens in South Dakota, home to a massive saltwater crocodile named Maniac. His sheer presence commands instant awe from anyone standing before his enclosure. Born in captivity in Australia back in 1970, Maniac was raised under a specialized program with frequent human interaction. This early upbringing ensured he remained exceptionally calm during major transport operations, a crucial factor considering that the intense stress of moving can often be fatal to older, wild-caught crocodiles. Measuring an impressive 16 feet 2 inches and tipping the scales at around 1,350 pounds, Maniac is a stunning example of evolutionary design. What makes him truly intriguing is that despite his massive size, he hasn't even reached the maximum potential of his species, as saltwater crocodiles can easily exceed 20 feet and live for over a century. Maniac's head looks almost too gigantic for his body, lined with rows of razor-sharp teeth and framed by rugged, dark scutes. His journey to South Dakota was a matter of perfect timing. Following the closure of Wonderland Sydney in Australia, the giant desperately needed a new home. Reptile Gardens, which was actively hunting for a massive crocodile to succeed their former star, a legendary Nile crocodile named Killer, found their perfect match. Since his arrival in 2004, Maniac has been the breathtaking centerpiece of the park, drawing gasps of disbelief from first-time visitors. Moving on to the sunny coasts of Florida, we find Maximo at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park. Maximo is a gargantuan saltwater crocodile who measures a spectacular 15 feet 3 inches and weighs a heavy 1,250 pounds. His life story began far away from America, hatching from an egg along a wild Australian riverbank, a testament to the global journeys many of these protected giants undertake. Maximo is far from a stagnant exhibit. He brings the mysterious underwater domain of his species to life through a unique, massive underwater viewing window. This allows visitors to come face to face with one of nature's most formidable predators, observing the fluid, weightless grace of a 1-ton dinosaur from just inches away. To keep Maximo and his companion, Sydney, stimulated and healthy, the park designed a custom habitat mimicking the native flora and waterways of northern Australia. For those seeking an adrenaline rush, the park offers a thrilling zip-line adventure called Crocodile Crossing, allowing brave souls to zip directly over Maximo's jaws in midair. A crocodile that absolutely must be included in the Hall of Giants is Gomek. Gomek was no ordinary reptile. He was an absolute legend of zoological history. This saltwater behemoth was hatched around 1927 in the untamed wilds of Papua New Guinea, growing to a jaw-dropping 17 feet 9 inches and weighing a colossal 1,896 pounds. Captured in the 1960s by the legendary George Craig, Gomek was eventually purchased and brought to the United States in 1985. After spending 5 years in Ocala, Florida, he found his permanent home at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm. For 8 years, he amazed millions of visitors, not just with his massive size, but with his bizarre habit of tossing nutria high into the air and his unusual tolerance of humans. It is hard to imagine today, but handlers could safely stand within a single meter of this giant predator without fear of an ambush. Gomek possessed a remarkably gentle nature for a saltwater crocodile, allowing his keepers to guide him almost like a trained pet. However, no one forgot the raw power hidden beneath his calm exterior. Gomek's bite force could exert over 3,700 pounds per square inch, triple the power of an African lion. With 66 sharp teeth designed to crush bones like twigs, he remained an apex predator of the highest order until he passed away from heart disease on March 6, 1997. Today, a tribute near his former enclosure ensures his legacy continues to inspire respect. We cross back to the wild river systems of Australia to uncover the story of Sweetheart. For years, Sweetheart dominated the waters of Sweets Billabong in the Finnis River, southwest of Darwin. His history is a fascinating chronicle of the conflict between expanding human recreation and ancient wildlife territories. Sweetheart was a mighty saltwater crocodile, measuring 17 feet long and weighing 780 kilograms. What made him infamous was his peculiar habit of attacking boats rather than people. This aggressive behavior stemmed from a crocodile's fierce territorial instincts. The deep, vibrating drone of outboard motors and fishing dinghies misled Sweetheart into believing a rival male had entered his territory to challenge his dominance. He routinely bit off engines and flipped boats, creating incredibly dangerous situations for local fishermen. Crucially, despite these terrifying encounters, Sweetheart never harmed a single human being. As public safety concerns mounted, a specialized team from the Northern Territory Parks and Wildlife Commission launched a rescue mission in 1979 to capture and relocate him to a safe breeding station. Tragically, the mission ended in disaster. While sedated for transport, the heavy crocodile became entangled with a sunken log in deep water and drowned before rescuers could pull him free. However, Sweetheart's story didn't end there. His massive body was expertly preserved by taxidermists and remains the crowning showcase at the Museum and Art Gallery of the Northern Territory. In Thailand, we encounter a modern biological marvel named Yai. Yai is a gargantuan crocodile who has captured global attention due to his unique genetic lineage, making him stand out even among the world's largest reptiles. Residing at the famous Samut Prakan Crocodile Farm and Zoo, Yai is a rare hybrid, a direct cross between a Siamese crocodile and a saltwater crocodile. This genetic combination successfully merges the immense growth potential of the saltwater crocodile with the distinct features of the Siamese species. Born on June 10, 1972, Yai has grown over the decades to a shocking length of nearly 20 feet, tipping the scales at an immense 1,200 kilograms. His massive bulk and unique lineage make him a prime subject of study for biologists worldwide. The massive farm he calls home houses over 100,000 crocodiles and is famous for high-octane shows where daredevils wrestle the reptiles. Yet, no one would ever dare step into a ring with Yai. He stands as living proof of the monumental scales nature can achieve under perfect conditions. Our next titan takes us into the deep, protected mangrove channels of Bhitarkanika National Park in Odisha, India. His name is Kalaya, and he is no captive zoo animal. He is a living legend of the wild. With an estimated length of an incredible 23 feet, Kalia ranks as one of the absolute largest Freilebenden saltwater crocodiles ever documented by modern science. His home, Bhitarkanika, is a world-renowned crocodile sanctuary boasting the highest density of saltwater giants in India. In the 1970s, the species was on the brink of local extinction, but thanks to aggressive conservation efforts, over 1,700 crocodiles now patrol these murky rivers, with Kalia ruling as their undisputed king. Kalia's massive frame is the result of decades of flawless hunting. As the dominant apex predator of the ecosystem, he feeds on everything that crosses his path, from large fish and mud crabs to full-grown wild boars and deer. His jaws possess the highest bite force of any living creature on Earth, making him an unmatched hunter. To ensure these magnificent creatures can reproduce without disruption, the park administration shuts down the entire reserve to tourists during the breeding season, from May to July, allowing giants like Kalia to build their mud nests and secure the future of their ancient lineage. Now we come to the official, undisputed king of captive history, Lolong. Lolong, the giant of the Agusan Marsh in the Philippines, was a creature that shattered the boundaries of human imagination. With an officially certified length of 20 feet 3 inches and a staggering weight of 2,370 pounds, he secured his place in the Guinness World Records in 2011 as the largest crocodile ever captured alive. The hunt for this behemoth played out like an epic thriller. After a string of mysterious disappearances of local livestock and fishermen raised alarms about a true river monster, a massive tracking operation was launched. It took 3 weeks of relentless, nerve-wracking hunting and the combined strength of over 100 people to finally secure the colossus using heavy-duty nets and steel cables. The giant was named after Ernesto Lolong Conate, a legendary veteran crocodile hunter who tragically suffered a fatal heart attack just days before the final capture. Measuring the beast was a massive logistical challenge, requiring researchers to meticulously run a steel tape along his curved back, while his weight was confirmed using an industrial truck weighbridge. Lolong was moved to a custom-built eco park in Bunawan, instantly drawing hundreds of thousands of international tourists. However, the transition to captivity took a heavy toll. In February 2013, Lolong passed away from severe pneumonia, exacerbated by the immense stress of confinement. His death sparked worldwide mourning, and today his preserved remains are displayed at the National Museum of Natural History in Manila, where visitors still freeze in awe before his massive silhouette. Landing at number 2 is a historical sensation named Chris, famously known across Australia as the Savannah King. This unbelievable saltwater crocodile shattered all historical records in July 1957, boasting a spectacular, mind-boggling length of 28 feet 4 inches and an estimated weight of around 1 ton. The story of his demise is pure folklore. Chris was spotted and shot on the muddy banks of the Norman River in Queensland by a diminutive Polish immigrant named Krystyna Pulowski. Krystyna was a highly gifted sharpshooter and ended the monster's life with a single perfect shot placed directly below his eye, earning her instant global celebrity and the nickname One Shot Krystyna. However, this fateful encounter would completely transform the hunter's life. Years after the kill, Christina was overcome with deep remorse for taking the life of such a magnificent, ancient creature. She permanently laid down her rifle and evolved into one of Australia's most passionate conservationists. Together with her husband, she established the country's very first experimental crocodile farm to protect the heavily hunted populations through controlled breeding. The town of Normanton proudly celebrates this historical heritage to this day, displaying a life-size, anatomically accurate replica of Chris right in the center of town, allowing tourists to instantly realize just how microscopic humans are against a true monster of nature. The absolute number one among African river monsters is the legendary Pointe Noire crocodile. In the deep, inaccessible waterways of the Republic of the Congo, near the coastal town of Pointe Noire, lived a Nile crocodile that spent years at the center of wild myths, terrifying local rumors, and viral internet hoaxes. For a long time, scientists dismissed the reports of his massive proportions as mere fishermen's exaggerations, but reality eventually proved them wrong. When the animal finally had to be put down in a highly dangerous public safety operation to protect the local population from his unpredictable, fatal ambushes, the staggering truth was revealed. The colossus measured an exact, verified 17 feet 8 inches in length. The Nile crocodile is notorious for its extreme aggression and unmatched raw power. As the absolute rulers of Africa's major river systems, these apex predators back down from nothing. Their highly specialized hunting techniques allow them to drag heavy water buffalo, wildebeest, and unsuspecting humans underwater in a matter of seconds, drowning them before executing a devastating death roll. The Pointe Noire crocodile represented the absolute maximum of what this species can evolutionarily achieve, a living fossil, reminding us that the true masters of the water are still made of ancient armor and pure muscle.